Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And before I get into the main story here, the Nobel Prize winner from 2008 behind me, one of the guys that discovered, if you will, or I guess identified HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, right, has now clearly stated there is no chance that this virus is anything but what? Something that was done in a laboratory. Now, I want to be specific because if I say the words bioweapon, that's not acceptable yet. It will be, and it seems, according to this man's narrative, it's going to be the one that continues to be pushed by the alternative and even this administration that this is a Chinese virus. Now, before we get there, I need you to thumbs the video up as you're here. And we're going to get into this image and what it means and how, once again, coronavirus has directly affected my life. I have been demonetized. I got to hit that 5K mark. We're kind of are on pace, but I need your support now more than ever in a time when YouTube and others are censoring. By the way, just to kind of show you that, the story we're going to go to here, I found on Twitter, yet when I clicked on it, it basically acted like it was malware. Okay, and I had to go to that. Don't worry, we went to the actual source out of gilmorehealth.com. We're going to get into everything out there, but I want to talk about this image first. And thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. That image is from Bear Mountain, the makeshift facility where they test people downstate. Not quite to the city, but anybody that knows, Orange, Rockland, Dutchess County, etc., that area. Now, as you guys know, I have a cousin who thought she had it, okay? She had never felt that way before. She is, not a heavy-set person. She's around my age. She's a little bit younger. And basically, she had to fight to get tested in the beginning. I believe there were 3 times, and the third time they had her tested, she came back negative. And then later they told her she had pneumonia. Now, with this Bear Mountain testing facility, normally you call them. They called her and had her come back. And I had suspected that maybe they were testing her for antibodies. And this all happened Saturday, okay? And remember, I'm going to just read word for word what she said to me. Here now and waiting in line, very official here. State troopers and Army are present, and that's the, let's go to the actual picture here. Again, this is it. And I said, thanks for the update. She said, no problem. And then that was it. We didn't talk for a while. I thought maybe they were testing her for the antibodies. That's Saturday morning. Yesterday afternoon at 2:18, she got back to me. Just wanted to let you know I tested positive for COVID-19. So now they're telling my cousin that she's now positive. And I said, wow, as in now or previously? She's saying now. Now she has a little girl, her husband. It was from my desk on Saturday, she says. So what is the protocol, etc.? How do you feel? How have you felt? She says, I'm not sure yet. I just got the results from BioReference and has not been reported to the CDC yet. I have just been tired the last 3 days, but nothing like I was a month ago, okay, when she first felt sick. I said, okay, well, keep me posted. Try not to stress. Take massive vitamin C and D every 4 to 6 hours, as little sugar as possible. And she said, okay, I'll order the vitamin C and D. I'm not worried. And that's yesterday afternoon. So there we are. Again, I know a lot of you people don't want to believe it's a virus, but we've been hit with a biological weapon, and that's what this video is about. It should be okay to say that. And eventually it will be okay to say that if you blame China. I'm not going to blame China because we don't know where this thing is from. However, let's read through it. And you guys can decide for yourselves what to believe, but I think that these are the points that need to be made. And again, the fact that, I believe that it's more than likely my cousin did have this and may still have it on the back end. Right now, we know Chris Cuomo, his wife has tested positive. Every time we seem to see people test positive and, they're in the same household, everybody tests positive. Yeah, again, children and younger people are not as effective. And if you do die in your 30s or 40s, what's the main thing? What's the main reason that people are going out? It's because you're overweight, you're obese. Your immune system is just, that's it. That's the biggest chronic factor in New York City hospitals. And again, I want to report again that The ERs are not being overrun. In fact, they're starting to report this on the media now, a couple days later, that now, people, who are on the vents, they're on the vents. Other people are recovering. Even in Otsego County, where I am, they're using 3 separate types of antiviral treatments. Okay? So let's continue on here to this. Contrary to the narrative that is being pushed by the mainstream media that COVID-19 virus was the result of a natural mutation and that it was transmitted to humans from bats via pangolins, Dr. Luc Montagnier, I'm probably killing that, the man who discovered HIV virus back in 1983, disagrees and is saying the virus was man-made. How about that? Professor Luc, 2008 Nobel Prize winner for medicine, claims that SARS-CoV-2 is a manipulated virus that this is his hypothesis, and I don't agree with this hypothesis, by the way. Was accidentally released from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Chinese researchers are said to have used coronavirus in their work to develop an AIDS vaccine. HIV DNA fragments are believed to have been found in the SARS-CoV-2 genome. Again, that part is really a hypothesis just based on the fact that what? Wuhan labs were delving into coronavirus. No kidding. All sorts of labs all over the world have been delving into that. Why? Because it's a flu-like virus. What have we heard again and again and again and again and again? If you go back to even the Dean Koontz stuff, right? Or you go back to Stephen King in The Stand, right? The only kind of propaganda that says this is coming out from monkeys, right? Monkeys or bats or pigs is establishment propaganda. It's things like Outbreak, right? It's things like Contagion. It's things like Event 201 from a pig in South America. It's not from reality. See, even the sci-fi authors get it right when it comes from a lab. All right? But remember, during Event 201, if you said that this was something like that, you were a conspiracy theorist and they threw you off the internet. And yet I got demonetized, and Zero Hedge over there is treated like malware. All right, well, is Gilmore Health going to be treated like malware? Because it's saying the same exact thing. Chinese research, okay, we already did that. Okay. So we knew that the Chinese version of how the coronavirus emerged was increasingly under attack, but here's a thesis that tells a completely different story about the COVID-19 pandemic, which is already responsible for more than 110,000 deaths worldwide, according to Professor Luc, winner of the Nobel Prize. Okay, we get it. Discovering HIV as a cause of AIDS epidemic together with Francis Sanasi, the SARS-CoV-2 is a virus that was manipulated, and then he says, and accidentally released from a laboratory in Wuhan, China, in the last quarter of 2019. According to Professor Montagnier, this laboratory, known for its work on the coronavirus, tried to use one of these viruses as a vector for HIV in search of an AIDS vaccine. With my colleague, biomathematician Jean-Claude Perez, we carefully analyzed the description of the genome of the RNA virus. Okay? Interviewed by Dr. Jean-Francois Lemon on the daily podcast, I'm going to butcher this, Pourquoi Doctor. According that others have already explored this avenue, Indian researchers have already tried to publish the results of the analysis that have showed that this coronavirus genome contains sequences of another virus, the HIV virus, AIDS virus, but they were forced to withdraw their findings as the pressure from the mainstream was too great. Okay? In challenging the question, he inferred the coronavirus under investigation may have from a patient who was otherwise infected with HIV. He says no. In order to insert an HIV sequence into this genome, molecular tools are needed, and that can only be done in a laboratory. So again, guys, I'm not following the Chinese virus narrative, okay? I'm not part of that Orwellian gang. One of the other things I did really want to report on this is that, we are under COG right now still. Continuity of government is real. All these things are not breaking down just because Trump says certain states are going to be able to reopen. I want to make that extremely clear. I have never been for the lockdown as the response to this, etc. All right. In fact, I hate it. I think it's bad. I don't like the military presence. I would like to see that recede and really forget about these makeshift facilities and tents that are unnecessary. Uh, if we're going to have makeshift facilities and they're going to be medical facilities, let them be like the Javits Center to exclusively handle this problem as we reopen society, and not with ventilators, because obviously ventilators have now been shown that they're just terrible. But COG is still in effect, all right? And the economic repercussions of this have still not fully been told. We'll see where we're at in 2 weeks. I don't know that I'm as optimistic as other people. I get the speech yesterday, etc. But the ripples of this, the things that are never going to recover, the inflation of the dollar, this is far from over. I really feel like that's going to buy some more time. I get it. People are getting restless, and they should. But throughout this, what have we seen? We've seen more and more censorship. I just want to touch on this really quickly. Thumbs this video, subscribe, and share, by the way. I got a defamation complaint against me for a specific video on Nicole Junkerman and her connection to Jeffrey Epstein. I want to say this. I defamed no one. I had a guest on who discussed this person, her relationship to Epstein, and her other business ventures. It's now blocked in Italy. Now, the funny thing is, it also got blocked in Spain like a couple of weeks to a month ago for something completely different. They said, I think it was a copyright claim on my thumbnail. And initially, she tried to get it taken down because of my thumbnail, which was ridiculous. But, this is that incremental censorship. So if anybody wants to see that now, by the way, it's still there if you're not in Italy or Spain. And it's called, What is Nicole Junkerman's Connection to Jeffrey Epstein? But you can watch it if you are a premium subscriber over on Rockfin. I'll probably make it free, like I have the corrected Whitney Webb interview. If you haven't seen my Whitney Webb interview on not only coronavirus, but the latest Epstein stuff, there's an audio issue. I fixed that on this one. Please go check that out. You can just sign up for that free, follow me, and go check it out. Guys, I need your support now more than ever in this very Orwellian COVID 1984 world where apparently I'm still not allowed to say it's a bioweapon, even though it's a bioweapon. So $5, $10, $15, big donors. It means the world to me. We'll probably do another Ask Me Anything soon. I've still got to finish the Event 201 series. I'd still like to do an Invisible Empire 10th anniversary watch along. I really do appreciate all of you that are thumbing these videos up, subscribing, and sharing. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. And you can follow me on Twitter. And by the way, I wanted to say this. I forgot this point. Everybody who's now saying they're inflating the numbers, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So on 4 days ago, before they announced like it's a big gotcha moment, they're reporting they're inflating the numbers. I actually said no, because this was in Europe. That's not what they're doing. These 3,600 people are people that died at home of flu-like symptoms. Okay, many of which who tried to contact and get a coronavirus test and did not. Remember when I was talking about the National Guard picking up dead bodies in Enterprise Renovans? That's all real. Now, number two, a lot of people are saying, well, they're just tacking them onto the national number. The media may be reporting it that way, but they're still separate. I've watched all the press conferences. Every time they're asked, they're like, no, we still have the separate number. And they're not just marking down their death certificates. I've played the video. In fact, I got a copyright strike for that from the Associated Press. That's why I didn't play the audio in The Last American Vagabond. I was scared about that. But what were they doing there? They were waiting 1 to 3 days for the coroner to come back with a post-mortem test. And if they did come back, then they were marking them positive. It was clogging up the system. So, guys, I'll say it again. Anybody who wants to understand the real death rates, and I took some flack because I only did 2017 the other day, right? Oh, well, what's the average, Jason? Oh, well, I looked at 2017. I looked at 2015. I did 2017 because it was the latest one. But look, 155,000 dead, 153,000 dead. We went through, the pneumonias. It was right around 4,500 for both places, okay? So again, if you think that this is just the cold or the flu or pneumonia, see, there it is again, 4,000, it's not. It's not. In New York State, we've got over 10,000 people plus dead. So, look, You could say what you want, but the virus is very real. And like that Nobel gentleman said, I agree it's a bioweapon. I don't agree it's from the Wuhan lab. So thumbs up, subscribe, share, support the GoFundMe. Go check out the Rockfin. We're exclusively live at Rockfin. By the way, I did this Microsoft Marina Abramovich. It was free for 2 days, but we're exclusively live and free where you can interact with everybody. Tuesdays at noon on Rockfin, and that's nowhere else. So that's part of that premium content that you get there, $9.99 a month, and you get all the other creators. So once again, thank you guys. Love you. See you on the flip.